I'm now going to prepare the old black potato box that I made last year for the new season. This is ideal if you've just got a balcony or a tiny garden. You can just grow a small amount of potatoes here, but a bit of fun to teach children how things grow and just a bit of interest. So what we did is we started off with a black box with a tightly fitting lid, and then we've put 10mm holes in along all four sides here for drainage. Those are about probably 25mm up from the base. Then the inside of that we fill with a layer of about 25mm of gravel or old crock pots broken up. And then in the top, as I say, we've got a tightly fitting lid. We've put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes. They're all about 25mm diameter. The centre hole I designed as a watering hole, and then what I do during the season is I've got a little tile, which is this one here, a little bit of a slate coaster, which I just put over the centre hole just to encourage the potatoes to grow through these 4 holes rather than the centre hole. And then that's just a place for watering. And as things progress and the shoots start to come through the 4 holes, then you can probably take that off, and they'll have found their way by then to the light. They'll just grow to the light source. I haven't actually bought any seed potatoes. My dear late father would be turning in his grave if I said this, because it's best to buy seed potatoes because then you don't spread too much disease. But these were found in a plastic bag, one of my potatoes, and rather than waste them I'm going to pop them in here and they'll grow fine. And these are just some segmented potatoes that I found. There's probably maybe just 1 or 2 large potatoes which I've just cut into segments, which you'll see in some of my other videos, and as long as there's a little bit there to sprout on the top, then those will grow. These have got a bit dehydrated, but I think they still looking closely at them, they look a little bit alive, so hopefully those will come on okay, but certainly these will be the better ones. We're now going to empty the old black box out and prepare it for this coming season. We're at about the end of March in the UK here now, so we always used to sort of work on Good Fridays being the day to plant potatoes in this country, but see how we go. See better now the drainage holes in the bottom, about 25mm up from the centre, and similarly there, and there, and there. So now just fill that with some pea gravel or 20mm gravel, if whatever you've got, so 10mm, 20mm, or bits of broken crock pots will be equally fine. So in this instance we've got about 25mm of 10mm pea gravel. That'll just act as our drainage, and we'll have a little bit of a reservoir of water within that drainage, and when the water gets too much water in the container, then it will just weep out of these little drainage holes where you can see some of the gravel is trying to escape. But the drainage will stop the container getting waterlogged and rotting off the potatoes before they get a chance to grow. I think more plants, certainly house plants, are killed by overwatering rather than underwatering, so it's just about getting the balance right. So now I'm going to initially fill that with about 10 centimetres or so of multi-purpose compost, and then we'll be ready to plant our potatoes. But our multi-purpose compost, this is quite a good quality one, but you can put really basic bog standard multi-purpose compost in this container and sure it'll be fine. So now I'm going to put in about 10 centimetres. Right, so I'm now going to plant 4 of our chitted potatoes, and Eric's here to help. I just have to make sure I don't plant Eric because he's about the right size and shape. That's about the size and shape you want. Look at Eric, it's about the size of an egg, and bearing in mind you buy seed potatoes by weight, then if they're smallish like the size of an egg, then you get more to the pound or kilo or whatever. He looks quite happy this morning. As you see, I've now put the 4 chitted potatoes in, i.e. these are the little chits here. I put chitty side up, but to be honest with potatoes like bulbs, they're very, very clever in turning themselves round, or at least the green growth will go for the light, so they'll sort themselves out, so you don't have to be too fussy. Don't overcomplicate things, that's what I say. And Eric is just enjoying himself there in amongst the action, but he's now going to have to come out. Eric, come on, Eric, come on. I know. He doesn't really speak very much, so but he's smiling, so I think he's happy. So Eric just wanted to show you his latest little dance. Yeah, very impressive. Don't get too much. Oh, he's fallen over. Oh dear, poor Eric. Now I've just put my box on the ground in a place where it's going to stay, because it does get quite heavy now, so before it gets too heavy by putting the final layer of compost on, I thought I'd put it on the ground now and save you back. Now fill the potato box with compost to the top, and I'm now going to pop the lid on. Now I've securely shut the top with the 2 things on the side there, which handles which keep it all nice and tightly closed. Now I'm going to give that a good water, and you might see some water coming out the bottom later on, which means the drainage is working, and then we'll just leave that. The compost that I put in is actually fairly wet already, so it shouldn't need much water, and then we'll just leave that, and we'll wait for the potatoes to shoot up through those 4 holes. We'll cover that centre hole over now in a second with our little bit of slate, just to encourage the greenery to come through the 4 rather than the 5 holes. And we'll just use that for a watering hole. But it's quite useful, because there's this rim around the edge which holds a certain amount of the water, so you water into there and it'll gradually find its way in through the different holes. Right, I've now given that a final thorough watering, and any excess water will hopefully come out through those drainage holes that are at the bottom there. And yep, Eric is very pleased with his achievement, and we're just going to pop this bit of slate over the middle watering hole, just to encourage the greenery to come through those 4 outer 25mm holes. So watch this space, or look at my previous video to see what happened.